Welcome to my channel, The Proper Guidance. Here we are today to discuss about chapter number 12, Security Aspects in Computer Science, CBSE Board. Okay, so in this chapter we will learn about security aspects. Okay, and here are the topics will be discussed, that is about threats and prevention, malware, antivirus, spam, HTTP versus HTTPS, firewall, cookies, hackers and crackers, network security threats. First one, threats and prevention. What do you mean by threats and prevention? Listen, one more thing is that I am just highlighting the most important part in the topics. You people please go through the entire study material for a clear conception. Here, threats and prevention. Threats means that network security is concerned, because security is a very important part. And what do you mean by threats? Threats means a computer with no link to an external device or computer is free from the security threats arising otherwise. Okay, when this is out of any link, then there is no problem, but it is not an ideal solution for a human being or a computer to stay aloof in order to mitigate any security threats, as the world at present is on its way to become fully connected. This connectedness of various devices and computers has brought into our focus the various network threats and its prevention. Network security is concerned with protection of our devices as well as data from illegitimate access or misuse. Threats include all the ways in which one can exploit any vulnerability or weakness in a network communication system in order to cause harm or damage one's reputation. Okay, so what is malware? Malware is a short term used for malicious software. It is any software developed with an intention to damage hardware devices, steal data, or cause any other trouble to the user. Various types of malware have been created from time to time, and large-scale damages have been inflicted. Many of these malware programs have been identified and countermeasures have been initiated. However, different types of malware coming on a regular basis that compromise the security computer system and cause intangible damages. Besides, each year, malware incur financial damages worth billions of dollars worldwide. Viruses, worms, ransomware, Trojans, Spyware are some kinds of malware. These names are common to us: virus, computer virus, worms. Actually, what happened when we use something? These are elaborately discussed here. What do you mean by virus? This is not the biological term. This is for computer science. Virus means what? Virus is the term computer virus was coined by Fred Hohen in 1985 and has been borrowed from biological science with almost similar meaning and behavior. The only difference is that the victim is a computer system and the virus is a malicious software. A virus is a piece of software code created to perform malicious activities and hamper resources of a computer system like CPU time, memory, personal files, or sensitive information. Mimicking the behavior of a biological virus, the computer virus spreads on contact with another system. That is, a computer virus infects other computer system that it comes into contact with by copying or inserting its code into the computer programs or software. Okay, a virus remains dormant on a system and is activated as soon as the infected file is opened by a user. Viruses behave differently depending upon the reason or motivation behind their creation. Some of the most common intention of motives behind viruses include stealing password or data, corrupting files, spamming the user's email contact, and even taking control of the user's machine. Some well-known viruses include CryptoLocker, MyDoom, all these things. These are the names. Next comes worms. The worm is also a malware. that incurs unexpected or damaging behavior on an infected computer system. The major difference between a worm and a virus is that, what is the difference? Difference is that unlike a virus, a worm does not need a host program or software to insert its code into. Worms are standalone programs that are capable of working on its own. Also, a virus needs human triggering for replication, that is when a user opens or executes the infected file, while a worm replicates on its own and can spread to other computers through the network. So this is very, very dangerous. Some prominent examples of worms include storm worms or big, and these are the names, you please carry on. And ransomware, it is a type of malware also that targets user data. It either blocks the user from accessing their own data or threatens to publish the personal data online and demands ransom payment against the same. Some ransom simply block the access to the data, while others encrypt data, making it very difficult to access. So you people please go through. Trojan, you are familiar with this name. Trojan, go through. Trojan horse, spyware, adware. There are different kinds of keyloggers. A keylogger can either be a malware or hardware. There are so many topics, you please go through. Online virtual keyboard versus on-screen keyboard. Online virtual keyboard versus on-screen keyboard. The names on-screen and virtual keyboard refer to any software-based keyboard and are sometimes used as interchangeably. But there exists a notable difference: on-screen and online virtual keyboards. Both types of keyboards may look the same, but the difference is termed layout of ordering. Okay, and these are the things you have to go through. Modes of malware distribution: downloaded from the internet, spam email, removable storage devices, network propagation. These are the mode of malware distribution. How a malware once designed can take many routes to reach your computer. How they can reach to your computer: first, downloaded from the internet. Most of the time malware is unintentionally downloaded into the hard drive of a computer by the user. Of course, the malware designers are smart enough to disguise their malware, but you should be very careful while downloading files from the internet, especially those highlighted as free stuff. Okay, this is a trap. Okay, and then spam email. We often receive an unsolicited email with embedded hyperlinks or attachment. These links or attached files can be malware, so don't click such type of hyperlinks or attachment which is not required by you and in the spam email. So be aware of this. And removable storage devices, suppose you are using pen drive, SSD card, music players, mobile phones, etc., and infect them with malware that gets transferred to other systems also that they are plugged into. This is the way. And network propagation: some malware like worms have the ability to propagate from one computer to another through a network connection only. So you don't do anything, but this is already infected like this. And combating malware: common signs of some malware infection include the following: frequent pop-up windows prompting you to visit some website and or download some software, changes to the default home page of your web browser, mass emails being sent from your email account, unusually slow computer with frequent crashes, unknown program startup as you turn on your computer, programs opening and closing automatically, sudden lack of storage space, random messages, sounds or music start to appear, programs or files appear or disappear without your knowledge. Malware exists and continues to evolve, and so is the mechanism to combat them. As the saying goes that prevention is better than cure, we list some preventive measures against the malware discussed earlier. That is, using antivirus, anti-malware and other related software and updating them on a regular basis. Configure your browser security settings. Always check for a lock button in the address bar while making payments. Never use pirated or unlicensed software. Instead, go for free and open source software. Applying software updates and patches released by its manufacturers. Taking a regular backup of important data. Enforcing firewall protection in the network. Avoid entering sensitive password pins or personal information unknown or public computers. Okay. Avoid entering sensitive data on an unknown network like Wi-Fi in a public place using your own computer also. Avoid clicking on links or downloading attachments from unsolicited emails. Scan any removable storage device with an antivirus software before transferring data to and from it. Never share your online account or banking password pins with anyone. Remove all the programs that you don't recognize from your system. Okay, so these are the very basic steps to avoid such kind of malware. Okay, and do not install an anti-spyware and antivirus program presented to you in a pop-up or ad. Use the pop-up Windows X icon located on the top right of the pop-up to close the ad instead of clicking on the close button in the pop-up. If you notice an installation has been started, cancel immediately to avoid further damage. Okay, so these are the very basic steps we should know, because in today's world this is very common that we are downloading so many types of files. There are so many kinds of things in internet now, so please be aware of this. And now, antivirus. Antivirus is a software also known as anti-malware. Initially, antivirus software is developed to detect and remove viruses only, and hence the name antivirus. However, with time it has evolved and now comes bundled with the prevention, detection and removal of a wide range of malware. Methods of malware identification used by antivirus: signature-based detection. Signature-based detection means in this method an antivirus works with the help of a signature database known as virus definition file (VDF). This file consists of virus signatures and is updated continuously on a real-time basis. This makes the regular update of the antivirus software a must. If there is an antivirus software with an outdated VDF, it is as good as having no antivirus software is installed, as the new malware will infect the system without getting detected. This method also fails to detect malware that has an ability to change its signature, polymorphic, and the malware that has some portion of its code encrypted. Next, sandbox detection. In this method, a new application or file is executed in a virtual environment and its behavioral fingerprint is observed for a possible malware. Depending on its behavior, the antivirus engine determines if it is potential threat or not and proceeds accordingly. Although this method is a little slow, it is very safe, as the new unknown application is not given access to actual resources of the system. Data mining techniques. What is data mining techniques? This method employs various data mining and machine learning techniques to classify the behavior of a file as either benign and malicious. Heuristics. Often a malware infection follows a certain pattern. Here the source code of a suspected program is compared to viruses that has already known and at the heuristic databases. If the majority of the source code matches with any code in the heuristic database, the code is flagged as a possible threat. Then real-time protection. Real-time protection means some malware remains dormant or gets activated after some time. Such malware needs to be checked on a real-time basis. In this technique, the anti-malware software keeps running in the background and observes the behavior of an application or file for any suspicious activity while it is being executed. That is, when it resides in the active memory of the computer system. Okay. Next, spam. Spam is a broad term and applies to various digital platforms like messaging, forums, chatting, emailing, advertisement, etc. However, the widely recognized form is email spam. Depending on the requirements, organizations or individuals buy or create a mailing list and repeatedly send advertisement links and invitation emails to a large number of users. This creates unnecessary junk in the inbox of the receiver's email and often tricks a user into buying something or downloading a paid software or malware. Nowadays, email services like Gmail, Hotmail, etc. have an automatic spam detection algorithm that filters emails and makes things easier for the end users. A user can also mark an undetected or unsolicited email as spam, so thereby ensuring that such type of email is not delivered into the inbox as normal email in future. Okay. Next come HTTP versus HTTPS. Both the HTTP and its variant HTTPS are a set of rules protocol that govern how data can be transmitted over the www, that is World Wide Web. In other words, they provide rules for the client, web browser and the servers to communicate. HTTP sends information over the network as it is. It does not scramble the data to be transmitted, leaving it vulnerable to attacks from hackers. Hence, HTTP is sufficient for websites with public information sharing like news, portals, blogs, etc. However, when it comes to dealing with personal information, banking credentials and passwords, we need to communicate data more securely over the network using HTTPS. HTTPS encrypts the data before transmission. This is the most important part, that this encrypts the data before transmission. At the receiver end, it decrypts the to recover the original data. The HTTPS based websites require SSL digital certificate. This is most secure. Next, firewall. What is firewall? Computer firewall is a network security system designed to protect a trusted private network from unauthorized access or traffic originating from an untrusted outside network. Example, the internet or different sections of the same network to which it is connected. Here is a picture. This is the firewall and this is the LAN connection, and this is one. Okay. Now, firewall can be implemented in software, hardware, or both. As discussed earlier, a malware like one has the capability to move across the networks and infect other computers also. The firewall acts as the first barrier against malware. Okay, our firewall acts as a network filter, and based on the predefined security rules, it continuously monitors and controls the incoming and outgoing traffic. As an example, a rule can be set in the firewall of a school LAN that a student cannot access data from the finance server, while a school accountant can access the finance server. So this is like the firewall. And types of firewall. Network firewall. Network firewall, if the firewall is placed between two or more networks and monitors the network traffic between different networks, it is termed as network firewall. Host based firewall, if the firewall is placed on a computer and monitors the network traffic to and from that computer, it is called a host based firewall. Okay. Then next comes cookies. Cookies, the term cookie was derived from the term magic cookie used by Unix programmers to indicate a packet of data that a program receives and sends it back unchanged. A computer cookie is a small file or data packet which is stored by a website on the client's computer. A cookie is edited only by the website that created it. The client's computer acts as a host to store the cookie. Cookies are used by the websites to store browsing information of the user. For example, while going through an e-commerce website, when a user adds items to cart, the website usually uses cookies to record that particular inserting. A cookie can also be used to store other users. And require, please go through the entire thing, I think so. And threats due to cookies. Threats due to cookies. Usually cookies are used for enhancing the user's browsing experience and do not infect your computer with malware. However, some malware might disguise as cookies, cookies like this. There is another type of cookie known as zombie cookie that gets recreated after being deleted. Some third-party cookies might share user data without the consent of the user for advertising or trafficking purposes. As a common example, if you search for a particular item using your search engine, a third-party cookie will display the advertisements showing similar items on other websites that you visit later. So one should be careful while granting permission to any websites to create and store cookies on the user computer. Okay. Next, hackers and crackers. This is very important topic. Hackers and crackers. Hackers and crackers are people having a thorough knowledge of the computer systems, software, operating system, computer network, and programming. They use this knowledge to find loopholes and vulnerabilities in computer systems or computer networks and gain access to unauthorized information. In simple terms, a hacker is a person that is skilled enough to hack or take control of a computer system. Depending on the intent, there are different types of hackers. One is white hats, ethical hacker. If a hacker uses its knowledge to find and help in fixing the security flaws in the system, it's termed as white hat hacker. These are the hackers with good intentions. Okay, white means good intentions. They are actually security experts. Organizations hire ethical or white hackers to check and fix their systems for potential security threats and loopholes. Technically, white hats work against black hats. And black hats, they are crackers. Black hats means crackers. If hackers use their knowledge unethically to break the law and disrupt security by exploiting the flaws and loopholes in the system, then they are called black hat hackers. Okay. Next, gray hats. The distinction between different hackers is not always clear. There exists a gray area in between, which represent the class of hackers that are neutral. They hack systems by exploiting its vulnerabilities, but they don't do so for monetary or political gains. The gray hats take system security as a challenge and just hack system for the fun of it. Okay. Next one is network security threats. Denial of service. Denial of service, DOS, is a scenario wherein an attacker or hacker limits or stops an authorized user to access a service, device, or any such resource by overloading that resource with illegitimate request. The DOS attack floods the victim resource with traffic, making the resource appear busy and all these things. This way the web server would be overloaded and not be able to provide user. Okay, and if DOS attack makes a server crash, the server or resource can be restarted to recover from the attack. However, a flooding attack is difficult to recover from, as there can be genuine request as well. A variant of DOS known as distributed denial of service is an attack where the flooded request come from compromised computer zombies systems distributed across the globe or over a very large area. Okay, the attacker installs a malicious software known as bot on the zombie machines, which gives it control over these machines. Depending upon the requirement and availability, the attacker activates a network of these zombie computers known as botnet to carry out the DDoS attack. While as a simple DOS attack may be countered by blocking request or network packets from a single source, DDoS is very difficult to resolve as the attack is carried from multiple distributed locations. Okay. Intrusion problems. Intrusion problems means network intrusion refers to any unauthorized activity on a computer network. These activities may involve unauthorized use of network resources or threatening the security of the network and the data. It is a very serious problem, and the network administrator needs to devise strategy and implement various security measures to protect it. So we have already discussed some intrusion attacks such as this one. The remaining attacks are briefly discussed below. Asymmetric routing, buffer overflow attacks, traffic flooding, these are. Okay, you people please go through. Asymmetric routing, the attacker tends to avoid detection by sending the intrusion packets through multiple paths, thereby bypassing the network intrusion sensors. And buffer overflow, override certain memory areas of the computers within the network with code that will be executed later than the what has happened here. Traffic flooding, it is one of the most trivial method of network intrusion. It involves flooding the network to intrusion detection with all those things. Please go through. Snooping. Snooping means secretly listening to a conversation. It refers to the process of secret capture and analysis of network traffic. It is a computer program or utility that has a network traffic monitoring capability. In this attack, the hacker taps or listens to a channel communication by picking all of the traffic passing through it. Okay. Eavesdropping. You people please go through. This is very interesting part and elaborately given here. You people please go through completely. If there is any problem, I will be here with you. Please ping me. I will take another class. So this is all about security aspects. You people already know these types of security aspects, and this is very basic concept. And here in this NCERT study material, we are just discussing the theoretical portion. If there is any query, please feel free to ask me. Next day we will learn something new. So till then, take care and thank you for watching.